Evergreen Media Network Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Honestly, without Treasure Coast Community Health, I think we'd be a much poorer community in terms of our health. We're always striving to fill the gap for everyone in the community, rich or poor.
Good afternoon and welcome to Community Conversations. My name is Vicki Soule and I'm the CEO of Treasure Coast Community Health. For those of you that aren't aware of our services, we are a primary care provider of all different kinds of wonderful services: behavioral health, pharmacy, medical, dental, optical, you name it. If it is part of keeping you healthy from head to toe, we're into it. It's called Filling the Gaps, and really making you and your family the most comfortable you can be with sort of one-stop shopping, but in a loving, caring, patient-centered environment. And we know that health is a combination of lots of different things that people need at different times of their lives. And Community Conversations recognizes that by bringing in a variety of individuals who are active in the community and who we feel are making a real difference in the things that they do. So today I'm pleased to have Dr. Richard Baker here with me. He is from the Pelican Island Audubon Society. Founder, chief cook and bottle washer, and all the above, I suppose.
No, I'm the chair now. I was president.
Okay.
And I'm chair of the board now that looks after the...
Well, you have done so many wonderful things in this community to advocate for our environment. And so I would be remiss in not supporting you for your most recent activity, which is replacing some of the many thousands of trees that unfortunately we lost during the citrus greening and other problems that agriculture had. But we all know from probably our 5th grade biology class how important trees are in producing what? Oxygen.
Yes,
yes.
What we breathe.
The very stuff we breathe that you can't get any place out of a bottle or a can. And my kids think that everything comes from a bottle or a can. But that is one of those things that we have to keep working on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your latest effort in that regard?
Oh, very good. You thank you for inviting me to be here. It's a pleasure to be with you. And to talk about what we're doing is actually health-related activities. Trees and native plants are really critical for our health and long-term existence here. We are in climate change right now, and
so they say.
A lot of people don't believe it. But now the world is heating up.
Yeah.
There's fires all over the place. People are starving. The water that we drink is depleting.
Yeah.
And the oceans are becoming a little bit higher and flooding. And so there's a lot of things going on. That, And you're right. We're cutting down so many trees for development. It's just incredible,
it is.
The amount. And especially if you drive down now Route 66 or US 1, they're just clear-cutting all the nice trees that we had.
Yeah.
So we're trying to plant more native trees and plants to get people started. There are things that we can do to try to improve this. If each of us planted a tree, that would make a big difference. And our lawns.
There's something like 70,000 households already in Indian River County. So that'd be 70,000 trees if every one of us just planted one.
Right. And we're trying to plant 100,000 native plants. That's one of the goals that Audubon has.
So there's your challenge. If you've got room for 2, plant 2.
Well, you should be putting in, when you're even a new development, you're supposed to be putting in 1 or 2 or 3 trees, one in the front yard and one in the backyard. And then the rest of the lawn, or 50% of it anyway, goes to this grass that we have. And unfortunately, some of the trees are yanked out and they put in a palm. And a palm tree is not a tree. It's a grass. And
Really?
It does not contribute like an oak tree. A southern live oak tree produces almost 400 different species of insects in our county, and many more in the state. And so in our county, these birds, most of the, I think 70% of the birds are insect eating, and they won't nest and produce young unless there's a bunch of insects available that they can feed their offspring. And so the birds are not breeding like they used to, and we're losing. Besides losing our habitat for them, we're losing them. They decide it's no worthwhile to produce more birds if they can't feed them, and they'll just starve to death. So.
And live oaks have such a wonderful canopy.
Oh, they do a lot for us.
Yeah. Besides giving us our exercise.
Taking care of the leaves, you mean?
Yeah.
And lawns require a lot of water too. The grass that we have has roots that are only about 2 inches deep.
Yeah, we used to call that crabgrass up north. That was a weed.
And that grass, that top 2 inches evaporates really quite rapidly, and even more so now in the heat builds up. So you need to water grass a couple of times a week, and that's kind of hard since for our betterment. Most governments have said you can only water once or twice a week now on certain days. Yeah, well, that's trying to restrict you from wasting water. Yes, 64% of our drinking water goes in the lawns.
Wow.
64%, and we're running out of drinking water. And this goes up to 88% in the summertime. So like now, people are putting more water on their lawns. But native plants and there's nice native ground covers, and their roots go down 12 inches. And you guys have been putting some demonstration gardens around town to show how beautiful they can be. Right. We have one. The first one was done in 22 at the entrance to the county commission. And we put a nice garden in there with... I remember the daisies. While you look at your list. No, in there we planted 272 native plants and 21 species in a relatively very small garden. We wanted a bigger one, but that's the size that they gave us. But still, it's full, and it's really, most people say it's quite beautiful. And then the up center, up against poverty, relatively next door, the executive director at Turner came over and said, would you put a garden in at the entrance to our building? And so they have 3 places where we put native plants there, and we planted 223 native plants of 27 species there. Wow. And then some people thought, well, especially on the Barrier Island, they appreciated our gardens, and they said, why don't you put a demonstration garden in front of the post office on the beach side? And I said, sure. And we got permission from the owners. It's not owned by the post office, but it's owned by 3 people in a trust. And so we got their approval. And then we got approval from the postmaster. And he's, a great idea. This is going to be fun. So we've actually gone in and started to build that garden. It's going to take a couple months to get it done. But so because of the salty air, will you be planting different natural garden there? Yes, you need to get some of the natural plants that can thrive in the more salty air. So I've heard from others, they think it's a wonderful idea, but almost immediately they say, but I can't afford it. Buying plants can be so expensive. So what's your solution for that? I know you have one. Well, we're giving away free trees. Yes. And we can give, we've distributed, some we're charging, a nominal amount for some plants, but mahogany trees, southern live oak, are available free. Bald cypress, when we get them, are available free. So those are 3 big trees that we have available. And the rest of them, some of the plants that we can grow ourselves, we're giving them at very low rates. So where do they pick them up? Oh, that's a good question. I hope everybody would know that they would come. They would come down to our Audubon house,
Okay.
which is on Oslo Road, not far from off of US 1
To the east side.
to the east side, where the Publix is down there, and we're on the south side of the road, and we're surrounded on three sides by the Oslo Riverfront Conservation Area, which is a real one of the largest and one of the first conservation areas that was purchased by the county. It has 5 or 6 different types of habitat: freshwater, wetlands, saltwater wetlands.
And it's
scrub
open to the
habitat.
public.
It's open to the public.
Okay.
We have an acre of land. The house and the parking lot take up about 4/10 of an acre, and then the 6/10 is native. And so on three sides, we're surrounded by this wonderful park that you can visit. There are trails there and so forth.
And we have actually done that as a family.
Good.
There's better times of the year to do that than others. Right after the rain is probably not your best call, but it is delightful to actually get out and you can hear the birds and, just being out among the trees and being able to take a walk and see things is marvelous.
It's a gorgeous piece.
Yeah.
It was one time going to be all in condos too.
But you helped that.
Yeah, we
didn't
helped
you?
stop. We thought that wasn't a very good idea, and we were able to convince the county commission that they should not do it.
That was before the Audubon House was actually created.
We've been only 8 years, and I'm not sure exactly when the
Has it been that way already? Wow.
Yeah, we're
beautiful house. If you've not had an opportunity,
it has a nice classroom in there that we have an after-school program going. We have 4 county Title I schools that come, one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, throughout the school year, and then in the second semester we do it again.
Okay.
So we have 15 kids, 5th graders coming, and they
for each session.
Each week there's one coming.
That's wonderful. So if you're new to town and you're not aware of it, it's the 4 elementary schools that are in the southern part of the county, because you all actually pick them up from school and transport them.
Right. We have a van.
Okay.
Transportation is really the key.
Yeah.
And we have a nice van that we have an environmental educator, Lauren Reese, and she goes and picks them up. They're all within 5 miles, and we can get them in 15 minutes. And she brings them down to our Audubon house. We pick them up around 3:15, and we get them back to the school where their moms, working moms usually, and pick them up at the school.
Just in time for dinner.
Yeah, just in time for dinner. They're great kids. They're very enthusiastic. They go kayaking.
Wow.
Walk in all kinds of different types of habitat. They go out to the stormwater parks, Egret Marsh, where they learn about stormwater, and out there is a bunch of birding that you can do. So they learn their birds. They know about snakes. I bet the boys like that more than the girls. Well, actually, when we were bringing snakes into the classroom, some of the kids would jump up and run out of the room. They were that scared of them,
Yeah. Well, it's foreign to them if they spend most of their time inside.
Then once we let them handle them, and some of them put them around their neck and do all kinds of things with them, and then they've lost their fear of snakes.
I'm going to have to stop us for a moment so we can get a word in from our sponsors, but when we come back, we'll talk about more of the exciting things you've got going on there at Pelican Island, okay?
Great, thank you.
Okay. Treasure Coast Community Health in-house pharmacies have the lowest prices in Indian River County, even lower than big box pharmacies. Taking your medication as prescribed leads to better health. Affordable medicine makes it easier. Treasure Coast Community Health patients can pick up medicine as they leave the office or use free delivery and mail order services. Pharmacists are always available to answer questions. Switch to TCCH pharmacies. Save money, stay healthy. 772-257-8224 and ask about our price match.
Your grandkids struggle. You've helped your kids through their struggles. What about yours? Back in your day, nobody talked about feelings, emotions, or mental health. Times have changed. It's your time to unstruggle. When life is a struggle, getting help shouldn't be. Unstruggle.org.
Hello, this is Carol Jean Jordan, your tax collector here in Indian River County. All of our offices are scheduling appointments for in-office services, but you can get that little yellow sticker quicker by using our Express Lane. It's fast, convenient, and free when you pay with an e-check. Renew your registration on our website and select Pick Up at the Tax Collector's Office. Order before 3 p.m. and you can pick up your little yellow sticker on the same day. Order at irctax.com. That's irctax.com.
Sturgis Lumber and Hardware has what you need for hurricane season. Lumber and plywood, straps, ties, and bolts, plus the service to find what you need. Be ready now. Sturgis Lumber and Hardware, US 1 Vero Beach. Be hurricane ready with Sturgis Lumber and Hardware. SturgisLumber.com.
Star Quality Airman here. Summer here is not only hot, it's super hot. So when your air conditioner falls victim to the evil powers of wear and tear, we're here to save the day. Call your air conditioning superheroes. When you need us, we're there. Star Quality Air.
Start your day with fuel in your tank with breakfast at Marsh Landing. You'll love our biscuits and gravy, sweet potato pancakes, or eggs Benedict with a fried green tomato. And how about a mimosa or a monster Bloody Mary? It's breakfast, old Florida style, at Marsh Landing in Fellsmere.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. If you're just joining us, my name is Vicki Soule. I'm the CEO of Treasure Coast Community Health, which provides medical, dental, behavioral health services to over 28,000 individuals in our county. And we're very proud of that honor that you have chosen us. I do want to say that although we have a sliding fee scale for people that don't have economic means to pay or don't have insurance, or maybe they have insurance and their deductibles are pretty high, acting as barriers to care. But in addition, we really provide health care for all. We have all board certified, experienced people taking care of you, and we hope that you will make Treasure Coast Community Health your patient-centered home, a place where you're very comfortable, where you can call and be seen almost immediately with the same-day appointment with your selected provider. So just to clear the air a little bit, if you need any assistance, please call us at 257-8224. Today I've got Dr. Richard Baker here with us, and Dr. Baker's all about kids too. For a long time, he has been an advocate in our community. And in fact, your history goes back to the creation of the Environmental Learning Center, which is where a lot of people now think, oh, kids and that, whereas the Pelican Island, we all think of Pelican Island as that place out in the lagoon where there's birds. And most kids don't really identify birds as much as they like to get in the water. But your program has done both.
Yes. Well, the ELC is a great organization, too. And you're right, Audubon, Maggie Bowman was president back in those days, and she's the one that really had it concerned to build it and develop it.
Was she the same lady that helped us with the scrub jays?
Yes.
Ah.
And she was a great person in our community. Was on the county commission for some years too.
Ah.
And it's. I served on the board of the ELC for a while. They have time limits though, and so Audubon hasn't got time limits. But we're continuing to do our work on working with schools.
Well, it's a big county, and ELC really is more towards the northern portion of our county, whereas the Oslo Conservatory, I can't talk today. This is a bad place to be when you can't talk. That's really more related to the kids in the southern center of the county.
We don't want to neglect the schools in the northern part either. So.
Well, I think that Pelican Island Elementary, again, going back to that plot of land that is a safety net for the scrub jays, I think that interest continues amongst those others. And a lot of them are doing community gardens on that northern tier as well.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like digging in the dirt.
The surrounding part of the school, we have the conservation rights. The Winnegar Park. It's Pelican Island has the development rights on it, so we will always be able to keep it as a great spot for scrub jays. and we've been improving it. We put up some new fencing, and we are putting up new signage, and we're limiting the number of tours there because it's protection area, and we don't want a bunch of people going in there and disturbing the birds. But if you want to see scrub jays, you can go down there and be very careful. All you have to do is just park there and get out of your car, and you almost like whistle for them, where are you? And they come.
No kidding. Well, that comes back to what we talked about at the very beginning, and that is creating healthy environments for our birds, for our people. Good, excellent reasons to create that spot that, unfortunately, with building and growth, a lot of those areas have been stripped of the trees and the shrubbery. But we can do something about that.
Right.
Mahogany trees, you mentioned earlier that if they come to the Pelican Island area, that you're giving away.
Yep.
Aren't mahogany trees very expensive to buy on your own?
Well, these are small. They're only going to be a couple feet tall. But they're fast growing, and most of them were cut down for wood, for furniture. Mm-hmm. But they're beautiful, very fast growing. Yeah. They don't produce as many insects as the oak trees, but they do provide some of the other functions of preserving the land and saving some of the water that goes in. It's good. Kids are important. One study showed that most of the kids are outdoors only 15 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Day. And that is probably waiting for the bus. So most kids are indoors with their. Most of the kids have a phone now, and they're watching TV or doing something else.
That's so sad. There was a recent study that was just published about how more and more of our children are having vision difficulties, myopia, because they don't get the opportunity to let their eyes stretch, as it were. Those muscles are different between nearsightedness and farsightedness, and because they aren't out, we were always looking for the ball that was coming off the sandlot, or checking to see who was going to join us, to do things outside in the fields. That's no longer true, but parents can give their children that opportunity through other after-school activities. And I'm sure that's part of what you're doing when you have those children there for 14 weeks. They're out there every day.
And not only that, we only have them 1 day a week.
So parents, wise up. Yeah.
Each school. But what's kind of interesting is that they bring their friends then on weekends. They will bring their parents and their sibs and some of their friends down to the Audubon house and show them around. And that's fantastic. So they are sort of ambassadors.
And how long have you been doing this?
We're starting our 9th year. So some of these kids have graduated from high school now, and they're making doing great things in our community. Some of these young kids.
That's fantastic.
It's very, very good.
Thank you so very much for sharing with us what's going on. And again, I admire your advocacy, and I have to chime in again. If you have any room for a tree around your house, please come see us down at the Oslo Conservatory. The Pelican Island house there has lots of things in the backyard, native plants as well as trees. I even donated some mango tree sprouts. So
we're giving away free mangoes that you gave us.
Free mango trees. Again, they're probably not going to fruit in the next year or two, but our tree is huge, and it does provide lots of benefits for the rabbits, the squirrels, and anything else that gets to the mangoes before we do. So again, thank you for being here with us this week. I hope you spread the word because this is all good work for our community. And have a nice evening. We'll be back next week to talk about something new and different going on at Treasure Coast Community Health. Thank you, Dr. Baker.
Thank you.